Robert leaned over as if to get something from the glove box. 8 days ago, he'd done that, and his arm had brushed across my leg. A week ago, I'd been in Des Moines buying a new dress.
We gotta mention it, right?
We gotta mention it, but maybe not spend the entire episode on it.
The president is a demented pedophile.
I mean, we already knew that. I mean, that's just old news at this point. It's just
know.
that more people are coming around to the idea.
Yeah, but if we shut up about it, that's what he wants.
That's true. That is true.
I did start recording. Are you recording on your end?
Yes, I am recording.
Okay. All right. Reminder, everyone. The president is a demented pedophile. You are listening to Rock Hard Caucus, episode 207.
Calling the president a demented pedophile and then cracking a cold one. We mean business today.
I'm drinking a DEP, a Dr. Pepper, not a demented pedophile.
Interesting. I like a Diet Dr. Pepper. I've never had the zero sugar version.
Yeah, not much of a difference taste-wise.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
Diet Dr. Pepper tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper.
It does. Pretty close,
okay,
at
yeah,
least.
let's start with this Epstein stuff. I only really have like locally focused articles selected for this, but you saw that he apparently wrote a letter to Jeffrey Epstein, like for their anniversary or something.
For his 50th birthday, Epstein's 50th birthday.
And he said that they'd been friends for 15 years at that point.
Yeah, and he said something about like, "Here's to more wonderful secrets."
They share,
and
a
apparently
secret.
drew a picture of like a naked woman or something.
So weird. These guys are gross.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder why people have been so flipped out about this for 5+ years. You know?
Yeah. And okay, I'll read this. This is from Tom Barton at the Cedar Rapids Gazette. Iowa's Ashley Hinson opposes effort to force a vote on releasing Epstein files. So that there's Ashley Hinson protecting a powerful pedophile.
Yeah, many would say that.
Iowa Republican U.S. Rep. Ashley Hinson said she opposes an effort to force a vote on requiring the Department of Justice to release files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massey announced Tuesday plans to use a procedural move to push for a vote on a resolution that would require Attorney General Pam Bondi to publicly release all Epstein-related DOJ files. Thomas Massey, do you know much about him?
Not really. He was the We Hate You guy, is that right?
No, that was Tom Tillis.
Another Tom.
Tom Tillis.
We hate you.
But since you mentioned it.
Yeah, there you go. No, I don't know. I don't know. I know he's a Republican from
Kentucky. Yeah. I guess he's been in Congress since 2012, so he's been there for a bit. He was a Tea Party guy. He's very libertarian. Okay, here's the quote from Hinson. This was during a weekly conference call with journalists. I think we can all agree Jeffrey Epstein was a disgusting human being and an absolute pedophile.
An absolute pedophile as opposed to a relative pedophile.
Which I think, by comparison, is that what she's saying the president is?
Yeah, I think she's saying that
pedophile.
any of his powerful friends and associates were pedophiles in relation to him.
Right, by association. Right. He's the prime, the ultimate pedophile. We know that to be true, and I think Thomas Massey is approaching this in the wrong way, and he's doing it in a way that we give the floor to Democrats, which is not how we should be doing business. So this just seems unwise to me for her to take this approach to this issue. But this is basically what she's saying. I don't think that we should allow the Democrats to take the anti-pedophile stance in Congress. That's foolish.
Yeah.
Well, you could maybe preempt them by doing something about it yourselves, maybe. Because of what this looks like, it looks like you're all kind of circling the wagons around a demented pedophile.
That's very much what it looks like.
And I think maybe this is Thomas Massey's way of, this was an opportunity to not do that, perhaps.
Yeah.
More from Ashley here. I do trust President Trump here and Pam Bondi to do the right thing, and FBI Director Kash Patel to do the right thing at the FBI. And I can tell you this, that I know that a lot of people love to use issues as political wedges. Yeah, the vaguest possible statement. A lot of people love to use issues as political wedges. Issues such as...
Yeah,
what's
the
issue
Jeffrey
at play
Epstein
here?
being an absolute pedophile with like very strong connections to a bunch of very powerful people who were, I guess we're supposed to believe, like had no idea that he was trafficking like hundreds of women. Like, right. Even though, like, we have lots of evidence that they were girls. pretty well, that too, pretty well aware that, like, I don't know. It's funny seeing some people being like, oh, the Republicans have been stoking conspiracy theories, and now the conspiracy theorists are coming back to bite them. But it's like, I think there might be some, like, actual public interest here.
Like, for sure, yeah.
It's very funny seeing some of that. I mean, it's not surprising, but... Yeah, I think this is, I'll, be in support of releasing any Epstein files.
Yeah. This is where you sort of polarize yourself against, like, conspiracy theories. Like, oh, that's all a bunch of bullshit. But no. This is real. Like, so many documented facts are involved here. Like,
yeah.
You shouldn't just dismiss this as some, like, kook theories.
Yeah.
Like,
I saw,
he was close friends with another former president.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to believe that, that these people had no knowledge of any of this. Like, it's very, very, it's a fucking tough pill to swallow.
I think that was, like, his main thing.
Yeah. It kind of was. He, like, dropped out of college. He was, like, a teacher for, like, a year, and then he just immediately went into, like, investment banking for, like, the wealthiest people on the planet.
Well, and just rewind for a second. He dropped out of college, and then he was a teacher. Well, how did that happen? Yeah, that's not supposed to even be an option. I mean... People much more well-informed than us have talked a lot about the Epstein case and the millions of red flags in his, like, quote-unquote career, his financier career. It took a lot of time and resources to run this, like, pimping network that he had. Mm-hmm. That was his main thing, And everybody who associated with him as, like, a business associate or whatever, they're also pedophile rapists. Like, it's pretty clear from what we can see that that's what was going on.
Yeah.
And this effort by, like, Republicans like Ashley Hinson to keep it all buried, like, this is not good. And I hope it blows up on them very soon.
Yeah.
Trump has denied knowing about Epstein's crimes and helped fuel conspiracy theories by teasing the release of Epstein documents as a candidate, but later stated there are no more to release. That's just from that Gazette article. Let's hear from another of our elected representatives about this issue. Politico, I guess, somebody talked to Chuck Grassley. Senate Judiciary Chair Chuck Grassley says he has not lost confidence in Attorney General Pam Bondi's leadership of the Justice Department, but he does want more information around the agency's case against disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Again, the financier thing is questionable at best. This is what Chuck had to say. I wish I knew what she knew, and I'm going to have to probably get some information.
What do you think Chuck Grassley is even capable of comprehending this story?
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I wish I knew what she knew. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of us are saying, Chuck Grassley.
I don't think Chuck Grassley was part of the cabal. I think he's totally in the dark on this one.
I would agree.
Asking for information.
I don't think he's part of it. Yeah. It's not going to stop Bondi from doing the good work that she and the FBI is doing. That was by Haley Fuchs with Politico. Thanks for that brief report, Haley Fuchs. You know what? Speaking of attorney generals, I mean, I don't think we have much else to say about Epstein. Release the files, Pam Bondi.
No. Well, I think we've mentioned it a couple times, but this podcast was born on the day that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
This is a fun issue to talk about because
it's amazing that we're still talking about it 5 years later, and it's still like, I mean, what we knew then is still like
pretty much the same as what we know now.
Yeah.
It's a fun issue though because it makes me laugh about suicide and pedophilia, so it makes me look really good to talk about this issue on mic. Yeah. So yeah, to be clear, disgusting all around. I'm only laughing because of the people in charge and their attempts at dancing around the issue and how awful it makes them look, and they deserve it.
I mean, it's insane and fucked up, and like I said, the people have a right to know.
Yeah. All right, so as I said, speaking of attorney generals, we have one of those here in Iowa. We have a state attorney general.
Give him the bird!
Gotta give him the bird!
Brenna Bird, who is not running for governor, we learned not long ago, which means that the field is clear for Feenstra to reign above all of them from such great heights.
Mm-hmm.
That's his whole campaign, is he's tall. But not to get too distracted by the governor's race, the news about Attorney General Brenna Bird this week is pretty funny. You may recall there was a county sheriff a few months ago who posted on Facebook basically saying, like, we're not going to dedicate our sheriff's office resources to ICE just like at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
And Attorney General Brenna Bird was very mad at this Facebook post. But what happened this week is, I'm reading from KCRG here, Iowa Attorney General Bird announced she will dismiss a lawsuit filed against a Winneshiek County sheriff in March. On Friday, Bird announced she will dismiss the lawsuit. Oh, it's two sentences in a row that are kind of the same thing. Winneshiek County Dan Marks. I mean, I think the fact that his last name is Marks just sort of, she was seeing red immediately.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
And just a recap of what the statement on Facebook was, the county would not comply with a detainer request from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement if the request wasn't within, quote, constitutional parameters. All right, so Bird's statement on Friday, as she dropped the suit, was she said that Marks fully complied with Iowa's sanctuary county law and will cooperate with federal immigration authorities. It did not say how Marks had complied. And then Marks, the Sheriff Marks, in a release statement said that he had a face-to-face meeting with Brenna Bird. And he said, during our meeting, I explained it was never my intent to discourage immigration enforcement. We have always complied with ICE detainers and will continue to comply with Iowa Code Section 27A and encourage immigration enforcement under our written policies. So for anybody who was like holding this guy up as like a beacon of hope that local law enforcement actually isn't part of the mass deportation agenda. No, sorry, they are. This is just a slight disagreement between two arms of the fascist agenda.
Yeah, it sounds like they settled out of court on this one. I wonder what kind of conversation they had. I'm sure it was an interesting one. Maybe some kind of veiled threats or coercion involved.
Yeah, I do wonder, because I mean his initial Facebook post really was basically the same as what he just said. Is like the federal government shouldn't be just like demanding all of our resources all the time. But maybe that's a moot point at this point, just because they have more funding than God, ICE does.
Yeah.
So like they don't need my help anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, we all congratulate Sheriff Marks for avoiding getting in too much trouble for his Facebook post. I don't like him because he's a cop and because he agrees that, what do you say? And he encourages immigration enforcement under our written policies. I think that those are two bad things, but I do have to have some solidarity with him for getting in trouble for a Facebook post.
Yeah.
We gotta defend him on those grounds, of course, as fellow Facebook posters.
Yeah. We all get a little heated sometimes and end up, posting stuff that we don't mean, like, you know, it might be bad to ICE might be bad.
And then our bosses, threaten us with a lawsuit over it. We've all been there. Since we're talking about county government issues, maybe we should talk about this Madison County thing. This is like a lot of chaos circling around this Madison County issue. What do you know about Madison County, Evan?
There's some bridges there.
See, that's about the
movie.
extent of my knowledge as well.
Yeah,
They have some bridges.
I've traveled over a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. But this is just kind of the latest in an ongoing series of incidents that really paint a picture of county governments being the home of the most tyrannical and crazy of politicians. Mm-hmm. Like, Woodbury County had that supervisor whose like wife went to jail for voter fraud. Scott County's had a lot of issues, the Davenport city government and the Scott County government. Johnson County, of course, where I live, has been host to a lot of podcast-centered drama.
Yeah.
Polk County's not really any better, you know?
No.
County governments are wild. And
yeah,
something crazy has been going on in Madison County this year. To kind of give us an overview, I'm going to read from the Des Moines Register's piece by Nick Hodge. Headline is Madison County sees tumultuous 6 months under auditor replacement without election. I'll just read straight from his words here. His left hand on a Bible, Matthew Schwartz raised his right and recited the oath of office. With that simple act, Schwartz was sworn in as Madison County's new auditor, appointed the week prior with a 2-1 vote of the Board of Supervisors. So a 3-person board. I think that's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
That same Monday, July 7th, petitions were already in motion to force a special election for auditor, galvanizing residents of the 16,000 population county, best known for its covered bridges, in a simmering dispute that has divided the county for months. All right, so the auditor was removed from office. The one who had been elected was removed from office, and then the board appointed a replacement rather than holding a special election. And that's where the current conflict comes from. I'm reading again here. The Madison County Civic Alliance, a self-described nonpartisan grassroots coalition, is collecting signatures to demand a voter-driven choice for auditor. If it submits valid petitions within 14 days of Schwartz's swearing in, the county could face a special election, which the group says could cost up to $10,000.
Oh, man.
Big money. Man, I wish we could hold an election for as cheap as $10,000.
For real. That would be beautiful. Things would be so much better.
Yeah.
Keep money out of politics.
Who was the former auditor? This was Terry Kaczynski, who swept into office after winning the November 2024 election, but lasted only 4 months. There's more about Kaczynski's tenure in here somewhere. I've got like 5 articles about this, so it's all kind of jumbled in my mind here. And I don't think she's related to Ted Kaczynski, by the way.
That's good.
I don't think that's where the controversy is coming from. And what makes this more confusing is it doesn't just involve the auditor. There's a treasurer who also resigned in disgrace, and there's a supervisor who's like been saying crazy shit on Facebook again. Mm-hmm. And so I don't even have a full grasp on what is going on because there's too much going on. Okay, here's a little bit of background on the former auditor. The current one, Matthew Schwartz, by the way, is a former cop. That seems like an odd trajectory.
Yeah, like they're apparently. I mean, anyone can be an auditor, apparently.
Yeah,
like that. People have been attacking Rob, or Republicans were attacking Rob Sant because he's not like. I mean, he's like a lawyer.
Right. He worked for the Attorney General's office under Tom Miller before he became the state auditor. So he doesn't have like an accounting background.
Yeah.
And I guess you can just be a cop.
You can be a cop.
Yeah. Okay. Let's read a little bit about the former Madison County auditor. Within days of taking office, Kaczynski moved to staff the auditor's office herself. In January, she proposed creating a part-time auditor's office clerk position at $29 per hour and immediately named her campaign manager, Leslie Beck, to fill it. Again, what was it, 16,000? The county population is 16,000, so it's like This is small town shit. You just like do favors for your friends. That's what local politics is all about. There's not even that many people there. So who else are you going to hire? You know everyone. A resolution to both create the position and hire Beck was tabled during a Board of Supervisors special session meeting on January 8th after pushback from citizens who said that proper posting and hiring procedures were not followed. Okay, so they didn't hire her friend. And then later that month, January 28th, Kaczynski announced she would be hiring the Robert Morris Group, led by consultant Craig Bergman, to evaluate county processes. At that same board meeting, supervisors approved the creation of 2 part-time auditor second deputy positions and 1 temporary assistant role with a 2-to-1 vote. So again, this 3-person board is split 2-to-1 like every time. So it's a good deal if you always know you have 2 people of the 3 on your side. You get whatever you want.
Again, only 16,000 people. They couldn't find more than 3 people willing to to be on the board.
Yeah. Okay. So then somebody went and did a public records request after this Robert Morris group, this consultant group, was hired by the auditor's office. They did a public records request to get like a copy of the contract and like any communications between them. So what they found was RMG, that's Robert Morris Group, was contracted for a 4-week plan at $250 per hour, an estimated $40,000 commitment without prior board approval. The county paid Bergman more than $7,353.60.
Yeah, that's
so more than this very precise number. For 29 hours worked over 2 days at the courthouse in Winterset. That's a lot of money for 2 days work.
That's pretty good for 2 days, yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. Okay, and then after, so they had proof that this exorbitant sum was paid to this guy. And then it says Vicky Brenner, her name comes up again later, a local resident and activist, told the Register that when she filed an open records request for proof of the work that Bergman's firm performed, Kaczynski, the auditor, told her that no report existed.
Oh my God, who will audit the auditors?
Right, so they paid this guy like $7,500 for 2 days' work. There was a commitment to pay $40,000 to his group, the Robert Morris Group, and they had no record of like work performed. The firm also appeared to have Beck on its payroll as an assistant. Beck was her campaign manager, the auditor's campaign manager, who she wanted to hire as like her second in command in the office. Okay, so you can see how there's all these like, at least the appearance of corruption going on, right? And so, her entire tenure as the auditor was plagued by all of this. We can skip a lot of the details here, but eventually, let's see, on May 6th, citing the emotional toll, Kaczynski announced her resignation effective July 4th, writing, "The auditor is too important to be used as a political pawn," and urging the board to appoint a qualified replacement. Again, her announcement was on Facebook. All this takes place out in the open on Facebook. So Madison County operates via Facebook posts. That's what makes it so dramatic and fun.
Hell yeah. I mean, that's kind of par for the course for, Facebook on small town Iowa,
Yeah.
It's just a lot of drama and backbiting.
That's where it all happens.
I don't know if you moved past this, but the RMG Group on their website is described as a political consulting firm for pro-life, pro-liberty, and pro-family conservatives.
There we go. That's a good detail not to skip over. This was the group that they hired to evaluate county processes.
And not provide any evidence of work that they did.
So a very clearly like right-wing, like partisan advocacy group.
Only God knows what they did with that money.
All right, so that's what led up to the demands by the public for a special election after the board decided to replace her with a cop who doesn't seem to have any qualifications to be an auditor. Okay, so let's take a look at another person in Madison County. I'm reading from a KCCI piece here. Madison County supervisor under investigation for election misconduct and voter intimidation. All right. So this is about the chairwoman of the Madison County Supervisors, Heather Stansel, Any relation?
Wonder
to
if she's related to Will Stancil.
A William Stancil. And by the way, shout out to my brother-in-law Jake for sending me this article and Heather Stancil's campaign website, which is how I started digging into this rabbit hole here. So Heather Stancil, chairwoman of the Madison County Supervisors, is under investigation following a Facebook comment. So again, more drama on Facebook. The comment has raised concerns of election misconduct and voter intimidation. The Madison County Sheriff Jason Barnes has referred the case to the Iowa Attorney General's office for further review.
Give him the bird. Gotta give him the bird.
Everything on today's episode is related. This is all one big flow chart.
Yeah.
I've got the yarn and the cork board behind me.
I love the
cork all the connections.
Board. That's so good. Charlie Day.
By the way, new season of Always Sunny started a couple weeks ago. They've still got it sometimes. The second episode of this new season I thought was really fucking good.
I didn't realize that they have still been making it for that long.
Yeah,
because I remember watching it like, maybe the first couple seasons, like when I was like hanging out in fucking really shitty apartments, like playing Smash Brothers on the N64 and playing beer pong all the time. That's what I associate it with. But yeah,
it's that kind of show.
Yeah, I mean it's a good show. I've enjoyed it, but damn, it's a long time.
Yeah, for sure. Where were we? Heather Stancil, chair of the Madison County Supervisors. I'm going to actually just read from the Facebook post that all of this chaos is stemming from. So again, this is related to the demand for a special election rather than allowing these corrupt people to just appoint whoever they want. In this case, just some cop. So, you know what? I'll leave this lady's name out of it, but she wrote on this Facebook post. Oh, you know what? Let me just pull up the fucking post itself rather than the screenshot. So Heather Stancil of the county supervisors posted a statement from the new county auditor, Matthew Schwartz, the cop, the guy who was a cop. So she posted this statement from the former cop, current auditor. I've received a few questions about my previous employment and business interests, so I want to address them directly and transparently. It's important to clear up any confusion and put rumors to rest. The main question I've received is, the position of auditor is a full-time job. How do you plan to manage that alongside other work or business obligations? It's a fair question. I just, at this point, want to point out how much of this statement is just him saying, these questions are fair. I think it's good that people are asking me these questions. Yeah, how about you just answer the fucking question? When I was asked to accept the appointment as county auditor on Thursday, July 3rd, I immediately gave notice to my employer, Wenthold Excavating, and ended my employment with them. I have a good working relationship with them, and they were aware this was a possibility when I applied for the position. Now that's strange to me. A guy whose entire employment history is like law enforcement, who now works for what looks like, a construction firm or something. When he was hired by them, he told them, I might get appointed as a county auditor in the near future. Why did you know that? Why was that on the table? As for my businesses, Schwartz Forensic Enterprises operates on a limited as-needed basis. The work comes in sporadically, and I have experienced employees who handle the day-to-day when needed. When I do personally oversee a project, the time required is minimal and will not interfere with my duties as auditor. Okay, so it sounds like you're a hands-off business owner. You just collect the wealth at the end of the process. And Grade Steak Pro. What kind of company do you think that is? Grade Steak Pro? It's STAKE, not like beef.
Yeah.
But like a stake in the ground or something.
It sounds like some kind of AI software to detect like cheating on
right, for grades. Yeah. The high stakes of school grades.
Mm-hmm.
He says Grade Steak Pro is a holding company to put legal structure and protections around some technology I developed. So I think you're right on the money there.
Some technology I developed. I love to develop technology in my free time and then make a business, a holding company to put legal structure and protections around my technology I developed.
Yeah, sounds very specific. It takes a few hours per year to file the appropriate paperwork to ensure it is legal and active. It provides some passive income. Damn, dude, it sounds like you are operating some very above board and perfectly understandable and legitimate businesses here. I've always had a strong work ethic. Some might call it being a workaholic. I call it being committed to getting the job done. I understand that politics invites scrutiny. I also understand that working a blue-collar job or running a small business shouldn't disqualify anyone from public service. In fact, I believe it's exactly the kind of real-world experience we need in leadership. That's right. You are so obviously qualified to be the county auditor because you own a holding company that protects your technology you developed. What?
I think grade stake actually is like a construction thing. So
really? Okay.
Maybe this man does have some construction chops in addition to his auditor chops and being a cop chops.
He's a Renaissance man.
Man of many talents.
Matthew
and
Schwartz.
Some might call him a workaholic.
Okay, so now getting back to the county supervisor who's in hot water here. She's the one who posted the statement on his behalf because he does not have a Facebook.
That's a good move on his behalf, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, so then one of the citizens of Madison County, one of their subjects, commented, I could have sworn Matthew acknowledged in his interview that he wasn't into the social media stuff, but would have a staff member handle things. Granted, he's only been in office about 3 days, but you putting this out here for him isn't the way for either of you to gain support and influence people. I would think that would be a goal right now. Anyone else would have been better. How about HR or another elected official if staff couldn't? So the whole thing that all these people, like the concern of all the citizens is like, you just fucking gave your friend a do-nothing job. Okay, so Heather Stansel, chair of the supervisors, responds to this, resident of the county, voter, citizen, and says, I really don't care if I have you or your liberal Democrat sidekick Vicky Brenner's influence or support. Remember, Vicky is somebody who filed a public records request about the previous auditor. Vicky literally tried to extort the Board of Supervisors on Facebook by saying that unless we picked her choice for auditor, there would be a special election at taxpayer expense. And that is followed by the sort of like bug-eyed emoji, like, huh? My lane is and always will be with the taxpayers who pay for everything. I look forward to working with our new auditor to continue to find ways to save taxpayer money, like we already did this year. Well, I mean, from our limited knowledge of the county's finances, it seems like they dumped a bunch of money into their friends' like consultancy company.
You might have wasted some money, actually.
And if you're in Vicky's PAC and the Democrat Party are successful in getting a special election called, I will then work to find ways to offset that additional cost to taxpayers by shrinking government.
That sounds like extortion.
See, this is where the accusations of like voter intimidation and election misconduct are coming from. Again, a special election would cost them $10,000. They basically gave some guy that much money for 2 days of work that they didn't record. Mm-hmm. $10,000, not that much, right?
No.
Although it seems like there's an easy way to save that money given the way that the auditor's office seems to operate. So let me read a little bit from Heather Stansel's campaign website. Yeah. In November of 2020, I resigned from my job as a telecom engineer and analyst after being elected county supervisor. You see, I had a promise to keep. And then in parentheses it says, stopping the wind turbines. Which couldn't happen unless I left my job at a utility company so I could fight against them to protect my home and my county. So she is sort of, I don't know, this is sort of like a class traitor, maybe? Like, she worked for the big energy company, the telecom company, and she's literally fighting windmills. That was her animating purpose for getting into politics.
Don Quixote over here.
So, like, literally a Don Quixote battle.
Oh man, I wonder if she thinks that they cause like there's a lot of people who have like the windmills cause brain waves or something, like similar to like the 5G causing COVID shit.
Yeah. Her website's got a lot of like really low res JPEGs on it and stuff. It's pretty funny to look at. HeatherStancil.com. I'm a Christian, conservative, constitutionalist. Okay. I haven't said it yet this episode, but this is something I think we need to start repeating, every episode, make sure that we're claiming this ground. Heather Stancil's perspective, according to her website: common sense and no nonsense lead to good governance. Rubber stamping the status quo is lazy and unimaginative. Hard work isn't a dirty word. Madison County deserves public servants with, quote, true grit. And it's capitalized. So is she talking about like the movie?
Yeah, maybe.
And who understand their place is to serve, not rule. But yeah, here's another person trying to falsely claim that they are the standard bearer for common sense. But I'm sorry to say, Heather, that's our job. Rock Hard Caucus is Iowa's true home of common sense. And I believe common sense is that you do hold elections for public officials. You don't get to just hire your friends.
Mm-hmm. It also says here under service, the first thing, like on her website, under her accomplished so far subheading.
The accomplished so far section that most politicians have on their website.
Yeah. Under service, first bullet point, brought back the opening prayer and pledge of allegiance to our board of supervisor meetings. Now, as a common sense, not a politician, but common sense person, that seems like a waste of time. Like, you got to get down to business. Board of supervisors is serious business. I think that's a waste of time, doesn't really serve the public in any way. And, get rid of that shit. Who cares?
Yeah, and as a constitutionalist myself, I know that one of the first things in the Bill of Rights is that the government shall not, declare an official state religion. And so I have to wonder, like, what's the content of those opening prayers happening at the Madison County Board of Supervisors meeting? Is the entire population of Madison County, do they all belong to one religion or sect?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, you will see also on her principles subheading on her website that she just has a bunch of, actually, it looks like a lot of them are taken from the Heritage Organization or AZ quotes. It's just pictures of founding fathers with, it's like, John Locke and Thomas Paine quotes and stuff. Anyway, I thought our founding fathers have a lot of common sense, and they were right to put that in the Constitution. So I think that.
Well, Thomas Paine wrote Common Sense, didn't he?
That's also true. That's so true.
He actually came up with it. The source of common sense. Heather's Twitter is also linked on her campaign website. Let's see. Looks like she's retweeting Laura Loomer, the Vigilant Fox. The Vigilant Fox tweeted something on June 26th about RFK Jr. exposing the dangers of fluoride on Fox News, and Heather Stancil retweeted that.
Wow. Not very common sense.
No, common sense to me is, fluoride is good for your teeth.
Yeah.
That seems to be what it's for.
I trust dentists, might not like them, but I trust them.
Yeah, if we're worrying about what's in the water, I'm a little more worried about the pig excrement that's in all the water in Iowa. The fluoride is not a health concern, I don't think. It's just common sense. Fluoride is safer than pig shit in your mouth.
I would say so.
Yeah. So Heather Stancil's a fun character, but that's not all that's been happening in Madison County. We have another Madison County elected representative going through it. Another piece from the Des Moines Register's Nick Hodge from earlier this week, July 15th. Madison County Treasurer Amanda DeVos resigns days before removal hearing. Now, all these people have familiar last names. Is it just a coincidence? Amanda DeVos, is she related to the former education secretary?
I don't know.
What's going on here?
Well, I don't know. Betsy had too much money for someone like to be related to the Madison County Treasurer.
Madison County Treasurer Amanda DeVos has resigned just days before a scheduled removal hearing, capping a saga that began with her January arrest on multiple charges. DeVos, 37, delivered a letter dated July 14th stating she was stepping down on the advice of counsel and admitting no wrongdoing. So that's what happened. Why was she arrested? All right. She was arrested January 31st by the Madison County Sheriff's Office and charged with felonious misconduct in office, third-degree theft, third-degree fraudulent practices, and tampering with records. So that sounds pretty bad. Somebody abusing their position of authority. According to criminal complaints, she used her authority to falsify documents, indicating she paid for a vehicle registration she did not, and she created a false receipt claiming full payment of her 2023 to 24 property taxes, a receipt for $6,495. Those allegations were drawn from county records and from DeVos's own admission to investigators. So, seems like something you could get caught for easily if the money on the fake receipt doesn't match up with the money that the county actually has. Right? But if you're the person who is like in charge of keeping track of all the records, maybe that can go undetected for a while. I will say, she didn't steal any money. She just pretended that she had paid money.
Yeah. Money that would go in part to pay her own salary. So.
Yeah. Why not just take it out of my paycheck? Maybe that's a more honest way to do it. But I could definitely see myself rationalizing this behavior if I was in her position. Like, I'm not stealing. I'm just, pretending I did pay this bill. Within days of her arrest, so again, that was January 31st, so quite a while ago now, and she just stepped down. But within days of her arrest, the Board of Supervisors barred DeVos from accessing county bank accounts and county buildings. Now, I imagine, as the county treasurer, being able to access the county bank accounts and buildings is probably an important part of the job.
Yeah, I would say so.
But she's been the county treasurer for 6 months while not having access to those things.
She's been working from home a lot,
and not operating the county bank accounts from home. First Deputy Treasurer Kylie Barber was appointed acting treasurer on February 7th to ensure continuity of operations. So that's what's been going on. Second in command was in charge for the past 6 months. Further findings added non-criminal allegations that DeVos neglected her duties. She's accused of misallocating more than $250,000 in municipal funds, not processing citizens' payments promptly, and delaying distributions to Winterset Public Schools and other tax-paying entities. I mean, that's, I think, the biggest...
Yeah.
The worst crime there is not giving the money to the public school. That, I think, is a larger... They do call this a non-criminal allegation, but I think that's morally a lot more of a crime than, just checking a box that says, I certainly paid my car registration this year. Oh, yeah, there's actually, I kind of didn't want to bring him up today, but does make an appearance in this story. The actions of Ms. DeVos have eroded public trust in the Madison County Treasurer's Office, disrupted county financial operations, and prompted investigations by the state attorney general and the state auditor's office. That's the bird and the sand. And that was a statement by the county attorney, Stephen Swanson. Ms. DeVos's continued tenure risks further harm to Madison County taxpayers and the reputation of Madison County's employees. This is as they were preparing to vote to actually remove her officially from office. We were hemorrhaging money. This is a quote from the sheriff, Jason Barnes again. We were hemorrhaging money all over the place, so we made the decision to go forward without the state auditor. I was informed that the audit was going to take at least a year and a half. So the county decided we just need to get this lady out of office. The audit from Rob Sand's office was going to take a year to a year and a half.
Interesting. Well, because he's doing his due diligence, I don't know.
You don't think he might be busy with something else?
Yeah, that could be it. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know what all goes into an audit of
I
someone
saw a lot of accusations flying around that maybe he's too busy to actually do the job that he was voted in to do.
That is true. People have been saying that.
Yeah, but I don't know how long those audits are supposed to take. He might be... Look, I know that the Madison County treasurer, that might be a big deal to you over there in Madison County, but I just got word that a city clerk over here in a town of 500 might have stolen $25 from from the city's coffers, and she needs to be thrown in prison for years.
It is interesting
that's a priority.
Talks so much about, the political insiders, but then instead of jumping on cases like this that are, political insiders creating favors and corrupting, their influence, but he doesn't really care about that. Or I don't know if he cares about it, but he goes after, public clerks stealing insignificant amounts of money.
Grocery money.
Yeah. People who are just probably just trying to get by.
Yeah. Underpaid city employees without a lot of oversight.
Yeah.
It's not good that taxpayer money is getting stolen, but common sense would indicate that if they were, maybe paid more equitably, there might be less temptation to steal. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. You'd think that, public officials would be a higher priority, people actually in elected office and actually in positions of power.
Employees. Yeah. People who literally have been entrusted by the voting public rather than their underlings. Yeah. Well, yeah, so the Madison County thing, all those people seem to be in a big corrupt circle, just absolute chaos. So we'll see if any more Madison County stories pop up in the near future. Because what did that involve? Auditor, sheriff, supervisors, treasurer. They're all... and Facebook comments. It's all happening on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess shout out to, what's her name? Julie. Just shout out to all the people posting on Facebook to try to hold these people accountable.
Yeah, Vicky Brenner also was interviewed in that KCCI piece, so she's been kind of leading the charge, I think, over there, demanding a special election and everything. Good luck to the people of Madison County, usurping the throne of their corrupt leaders. All right, you want to get into Simon Conway? I prepared some clips here, so I want to make sure I didn't waste my time on that. All right, the other morning, I woke up, and as I usually do, I picked up my phone immediately, started tapping on apps at random. One of the first things that popped up it's been a theme today, on my Facebook feed, was a photo of Simon Conway, right-wing radio guy here in Iowa on WHO, posing with the current Department of Education Secretary, Linda McMahon, of World Wrestling Entertainment fame. And well, the thing that struck me immediately was the only photographic evidence of Simon Conway I've seen is his profile picture where he's in the studio, his head's kind of turned away from the camera and he's pointing at the ceiling.
Yeah.
And what I learned when I saw this more recent photo is, damn, that picture must be 30 years old because he looks so different now. Hair is all, white and gray, significant balding. That's all fine, but man, you're really misrepresenting yourself with that old blurry photo of you in the radio station. I was shocked that this was him. I'll probably use it as the episode art so people can see what Simon Conway looks like. We talked about Simon Conway a few months ago when Rob Sand went on his radio show shortly after announcing his bid for governor. And he's a British guy who's on Iowa radio for some reason, just spouting conservative nonsense.
His profile pic on the WHO website is also pretty good. It's him crouching.
Yeah. It's good. But he's got a full head of dark hair in that picture,
right?
Definitely
an older photo.
It's thinning a little bit in that, but it's still a lot more than what he has now. Anyway, he interviewed Linda McMahon. That's why he posted that picture. Big news in Linda McMahon's world, because the Supreme Court declared that the administration can go ahead and defund the Federal Department of Education, which we all know is good. It's good to do that. So let's hear what Simon Conway and Linda McMahon had to say about this recent news.
So it was a big day for Matt Whitaker and NATO yesterday. It was also
I don't know why it was a big day for Matt Whitaker and NATO. I'm sorry. Is Matt Whitaker part of the government again?
Yeah.
That's-
I have no idea.
Massive day for the Department of Education with the ruling coming down from the Supreme Court. What do you do with something like that? Do you celebrate it, or do you go about, okay, now we can get the work done?
Both. We did a couple of high fives in the hallway when when the ruling came down, and then we said, okay, now we've got a green light to go. I think I said in one interview yesterday that I feel like the handcuffs are off now, and that we can really move in the direction that the president has indicated he wants us to go, which is sending education back to the state. And his goal and mission for me is to shut down the Department of Education, and for me to be the last Secretary of Education. And so that is my mission. And I think that we have lots of good plans to implement.
Oh, that's good. You got good plans to implement. By the way, Matt Whitaker is the ambassador to NATO right now and has been since April.
Okay.
Previously most famous for temporarily being the Attorney General after Jeff Sessions resigned. Okay, so things to mention about that clip we just listened to. When you're a radio guy, you know that you got to keep breathing into the mic so people know you're still there. That's an important technique that Simon Conway is employing there. So yeah, they high-fived in the hallway after they heard that they would be allowed to dismantle the Department of Education. And Linda McMahon felt like the handcuffs had been taken off. So what? Is that a feeling that you're familiar with, Linda McMahon, having handcuffs placed on you for your criminal behavior, or perhaps the criminal behavior of someone close to you?
Yeah, I mean, knowing Vince McMahon, maybe. She might have some experience with that.
Yeah. Sending education back to the states, that's a good thing, right? Right? All the states have sort of they got a lot of good resources to educate the children. They all got good ideas. Is there a particular reason why the federal government might have wanted to intervene and sort of take over some oversight when it comes to how the states were implementing their education systems for their kids?
Are you implying maybe there's some kind of
not that old, but
political agenda involved?
Well, on either end, like the establishment of the Department of Education under Jimmy Carter, and now the attempted destruction under Donald Trump. If I think about the history, what was going on with education in the United States, public education in the 20th century, what were different states kind of doing? I'm trying to think of big events in public schools in America. Oh, segregation. You remember that?
Yeah, that was a big one.
Remember learning about that? And that the federal government had to intervene,
kind of step in there,
desegregate, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we let the states, have their own agency again, sovereignty over their public education systems, maybe they'll have a bit more freedom to resegregate the schools. You think that might be part of the goal?
Yeah, I think it might be part of the goal, but maybe not in explicit terms, but in hollowing out public education and funneling anyone rich and or white enough into private schools.
Oh, private schools. We've been doing that here, right?
Yeah. We have
moving money from the public school system into private schools.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what else might happen if we get rid of the federal Department of Education?
It is never fun to let go people from from an organization or for a company. In the private sector, I've done restructuring before. It's a painful process, but what you do.
Okay, so people are going to lose their jobs. People who work for the Department of Education. Okay, that's a concern.
You look at the job that you need to complete. You do an assessment of the right number of people that you believe you need to have in place to do that job. You take care of the people that are on their way out, with severance packages, with resume building, with even trade fairs that they can attend and references for them. And so you absolutely try to make a soft landing for the off ramp as best you can. So this was done, I think, with good precision. And done in absolutely legally the correct way as well.
Oh, was it? It was done legally in the correct way.
Not something you usually have to say. Hopefully,
Yeah. I just love that, like, yeah, we're going to have a job fair for all the people that we're about to fire.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not like another Department of Education that they could go to, right? What are you qualified for if you were, a long-term employee of the Department of Education? I don't know, man. There's not really. You get rid of those jobs, I don't think there's like an equivalent job popping up somewhere else.
It's important to me, and I think very important to Congress, to make sure that the functions of the Department of Education don't slip through the cracks.
You know what one good way to make sure that the functions of the Department of Education don't slip through the cracks is? It would be to not, like, eliminate it.
Yeah, I probably want to keep it funded.
If it's doing shit that you think is vital and important, maybe you should just keep it going.
Because there are a lot of students that are served, through, the money that comes from Congress to the states. But let's remember that only about 10%, 8 to 10% of a state's budget for education comes from the federal government. The rest comes from the states themselves already.
Oh, so what's the big deal?
Only 8 to 10%. I mean,
yeah, like it's not like that 8 to 10% is really that important.
Yeah, for thousands and thousands of students.
Look at your nearest public school, and talk to maybe the people who work there. Ask them, what if you had 10% less money?
Oh, they're
fine,
rolling
right?
in the dough over there.
Acting as if this is such a minimal cut to something that is already like critically underfunded, and everyone is aware of that. Most of the money is coming from the states that are also defunding them anyway. Especially in a state like Iowa, like the state funding for public schools is also constantly under threat, constantly being like cut back. And we have, critical understaffing in most of the schools because you don't have the money to pay the employees of these schools. Simon, of course, is a man of the world, born in England, now does radio here for some reason. So he has seen education around the world and has some things to say about how we do things here in the U.S.
Madam Secretary, you obviously are aware that I wasn't born here.
We're all aware, Simon. You sound like
I know the British system. I've investigated the European system and the Asian system. Our kids at 18.
The Asian system.
The Asian system.
The Asian system
I think
of
he's
education.
Clearly very well schooled in, the Asian system.
The Asian system of education. I've got more to this clip, but then don't forget the Asian system. We'll come back to that.
Are massively behind. Massively. It's not even a close thing. There are no make-up classes for English or math or anything else in these other countries for kids going to university. In fact, day one of their first semester as a freshman, they're working on their major. We're not. We're not. We're like, can you speak English? Let's work on that. and we have to fix something, and it's certainly not the federal government's responsibility to fix it. I'm glad you're getting out of a job.
So you just named all these countries where, their federal government, I'm sure, is more involved with schooling than here.
Yeah.
But we don't want the federal government to be involved in something as critical as educating people, new generations of people.
Part of their argument has been that since the establishment of the Department of Education in 1980, the results of public education have actually not improved. They've gotten worse, which is, I'm sure, debatable either way. And so, the federal government's involvement has actually made public education worse over the past 40 years is what they're claiming. I think that there are a lot of other factors to consider, of course.
Yeah.
Many of them being conservative states, backlash at being forced to desegregate their schools and stuff like that. But yeah, especially if you're bringing up the Asian system of education. Yeah. I mean, what are you talking about? You're talking about how Chinese students are doing a lot better than American students on the whole. And I wonder why that's happening. Do you think that the Chinese government is uninvolved in the public education system over there? Do you think that they are constantly debating how much they can cut from education in China? No. Taking more resources away from public education is not going to improve the results. And you know that. You just fucking, I don't know, you're just obsessed with siphoning money further and further upwards. It's the whole conservative project. We know that. It's common sense.
Yeah.
All right, but you know that this could not, this is a subject that they cannot resist talking about.
You know, I interviewed Riley Gaines very, very early after her swimming career with...
You remember who Riley Gaines is, right?
No.
Oh, she was a swimmer at...
okay.
Yeah. There was a trans woman on her swim team.
People complaining about,
Yeah.
Basically a sore loser.
Essentially, yes.
Was over. And I'll never forget it. I'm a girl dad, right?
No. Don't say boy mom. Don't say a girl dad. That shit is... Well, I mean, if you're a conservative, you believe very strongly in, gender roles and all that, but... It just sounds gross. Don't
Disgusting.
say that shit, man.
Especially in the context that he's using it. Like, well, I'll let him finish here.
I'm a dad to two, and then when I married my wife, I got two more bonus daughters as well. So I'm a girl dad, and what Riley said to me was, here I am in my locker room, and there is a fully intact 6 foot something biological male stood right next to me. That is naked. By the way, that's just unacceptable. And anyone who tells me that's normal, there's something wrong with them.
No, clearly it flies in the face of common sense. It really does. And
there's that word again, that term, common sense. Yeah, just disgusting comments there. I'm a girl dad. I got 2 bonus daughters. That's also disgusting. You got 2 bonus daughters from, entering your second, I assume, marriage. Bonus daughters. I'm a girl dad. Because I have daughters, that means that it's important you listen to me when I talk about my hatred and disgust towards trans people. Yeah, nasty stuff. And what does this have to do with the Department of Education? I don't know, man. Nothing, really.
Yeah, he just wanted to get on his soapbox.
Yeah. I just think it's icky, so I have the opportunity to talk to, So this is all about protecting women, according to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's Linda McMahon's career been like? What was she doing before this?
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of women, were not protected while you were in charge of a previous company. In your resume there, I mean, part of the product was like women getting hurt on camera. I mean, I know it's fiction, it's performance, but it doesn't necessarily look like you're that concerned about protecting women from men. I'm sure some women were hit by men in wrestling matches, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You're arguing that women need to be protected and have segregated sports. Isn't that what you were fucking doing before? Having men beat up women on TV? What the fuck? Are you really the person to be speaking on this? Yeah, so I'm sorry to subject everyone to Simon Conway again, but I listened to that and I was like, damn, these people are disgusting. We got to talk about this.
Yeah. I see on the most recent episode, he talked to Darius Rucker. He's talking to Hootie. Hootie's fucking linking up with Simon Conway.
Interesting. Yeah, Darius Rucker, I don't think is a conservative, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
I mean, he is a country musician now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just, courting a new audience.
Does he have politics?
He must have a show coming up or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not everyone who goes on Simon Conway agrees with everything he says, like Rob Sand did.
Caitlin Clark was also on there.
Damn. That's a big get for him.
USAID, Caitlin Clark, and the Epstein files. Damn. See, like, just don't. Why are you fucking? Why are you fucking talking to this guy?
All right. Well, I think we've exhausted our list of topics today. That's not true. I have more stuff in the document here, but I think that's been a plenty full podcast today. I didn't end up playing this clip, so let me just.
We hate you.
And that's directed at most of today's subjects. We hate you. So let's wrap things up. I've been informed that the Johnson County supervisors are having a work session this week and a meeting next week. Yes. Okay. The Trans Advisory Committee of Johnson County, they've prepared an equal protection resolution for the Johnson County supervisors. So an effort to, since the state has revoked civil rights protections for trans people, an effort to sort of make up for that at the county level. Quoting from this infographic here that's been released, a resolution which affirms Johnson County's commitment to civil rights and equal protections for our trans community members. So there's been a call for people in the community to attend these meetings and to contact members of the board, Rod Sullivan, John Green, and Lisa Green Douglas. Their emails are very easy to find if you're a Johnson County resident. And to show up to the meetings this Wednesday, July 23rd at 9 a.m. and next Thursday, July 31st at 9 a.m. This is at the county building, 913 South Dubuque Street in Iowa City. And to show your support for this resolution and for the trans people of Johnson County. So I think that our listeners are concerned about that. So if you're available on those mornings, I know it's kind of early, but I'm going to make an effort to be there because I don't think I have to work on those days, but we'll see. I'll try to be there. And you should try to if you live in Johnson County. On a lighter note, I'm playing a show this Thursday at Cloud House, Public Space 1, July 24th, this Thursday. I'll be playing a solo saxophone set. Local cellist Grain Bin Operettas will be playing a set as well. And Collapsing and Francis Thornton, artists touring from Virginia, will be performing as well. Some terms here: noise poetry, abstract expressionist, dark and surreal.
Yeah,
wild
I like the
experimental music.
Good poster. I like it.
Yeah. I think Grain Bin Operettas put that together herself. At least I don't think we had a third-party artist commissioned for that one. But yeah, if you're free Thursday night, come on out for some wild experimental music. I think they use the term Dada poetry somewhere in the description of Collapsing's work. So if you like that idea, we'll see you Thursday. Do you have any thoughts about anything we talked about today? This is not directed at Evan. This is directed at the listeners.
I have zero thoughts.
As soon as we turn the mics off, brain also shuts off.
I mean, during the fucking recording.
But if you're listening to us and you have something to add, you can call us at 319-849-8733 and share your thoughts. You also can just say whatever you want. Keep in mind, I'll see your phone number, so don't say anything too out there. But call us at 319-849-8733. Leave a voicemail.
No, hold
Tell
on
us
a
what
minute.
you think. What's up?
We're an anti-snitching podcast. We're not gonna. We might.
Well,
we might look down on you, but we're not gonna. We're not gonna do anything with your phone number.
That wasn't the implication that I intended. It's just that, I'll know who you are. Okay.
Yeah, and you'll be judging. That's fine.
Yeah. So don't say anything bigoted or weird. I don't think any of our listeners would want to do that, but just in case, keep it classy. We just released an episode of Rock Hard Caucus a couple days ago where we listened to a bunch of voicemails. You can listen to that at patreon.com/rockhardcaucus if that appeals to you. I also recorded last night a new episode of Dough Brain Book Club with our friend Eden. Yeah. Sorry that you weren't there, Evan, but
I'm so sad to miss that one.
But we decided we could get together in person because we were working yesterday, and so we just met up after work.
Yeah, and I haven't read the book, so it's better for you guys to handle it.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it was fun
I'm sure it was. I'll listen.
Uh,
I'm going to listen to it. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, it was fun for the first one when you were there, even though you hadn't like read the book closely. You know, you had insights, observations to share.
Sure.
So check out patreon.com/rockhardcaucus if that appeals to you as well. I didn't select something for closing music today. Sorry, everyone. I'm not as prepared as I usually am. What should I throw up here? Maybe since I'm playing a show on Thursday, I'll just put up a recording of myself playing. I've got a bunch of live recordings I haven't released, so I'll slap something together and that'll be at the end here. So enjoy me.
Yeah, enjoy Justin.
Yeah, enjoy me. All right, that's all. That's been Rock Hard Caucus.
Or you could play Such Great Heights in honor of Randy Feenstra.
Maybe, yeah. Spotify has been really sending me a lot of emails about copyright violations.
Really? Yeah. I guess we don't want to get Ben Gibbard on our asses.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think that any of the artists actually care, but
yeah, that's true.
I just don't want to get any more emails from Spotify.
Yeah, fuck Spotify.
For sure. If you're listening to the show on Spotify, please find some other way to listen to it.
Yeah, good idea.
Because they delete a lot of our episodes. A lot of our old episodes. Anyway, that's all. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.